Hey guys, it's me, EODGamerZ here. Now in this video, I want to share with you how I actually use Catalyst to make quite a bit of money in Path of Exile 2. Now as you are doing your breaches and stuff like that, you might have a lot of these. One of the most ineffective ways, especially for some cheaper one, for example, like Fire and stuff, is going to go into the currency market and selling them. As you can see, for Fire over here, you're selling it for like 37:1, which is really pathetic amounts. Like it's really very low. Unless of course you have the more desirable ones, which is like Lightning, for example, going at like 5 for 1, and you have Coal, Mana, and stuff like that, attribute as well. These are all a little bit more desirable ones as well. But in this video, I'm going to show you actually a huge tip. You don't exactly sell them for a lot of money, but this simple trick can make you a lot of money. And that actually comes and lies in these ones over here, which is using them to modify your amounts. And I'll share with you a little bit, but let me just show you a quick demonstration. So for example, this coal one over here, coal is a little bit more expensive. I don't like to fork a lot more money, but what I will do is I'll just find one of my coal modifiers over here, right click, and what you want to do is you don't want to go all the way to 20. So some people go all the way to 20, that's a huge mistake, unless you're using it yourself and you are handing it down to someone else. But I am trying to sell this ring over here, and all I'm simply doing is I will put just nice for me to hit a very beautiful, nice round number over here, which is plus 40, and up here, which is plus 30 cold resistance that you will be able to see. Now, I'm going to put in the stash now because it takes a little while for them to update. I'm going to just like dump it at 1 exalted, so it's very easy for us to see. We don't have to like filter anything. And another thing, for example, is if you are not using coal, something like this Jade Amulet over here is another example of what I would do. I see an elemental resistance, I see lightning resistance over here. What I'm simply going to do is, for normal amulets, it's like plus 20, breach rings can go up to 50, but for this case, I just want my lightning resistance to pass the 30 threshold, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So I'll come into my stash over here, I'll find something that the lightning modifier, I only have like 4 left, these are a bit more expensive. So I just want to move one number. Once it moves and ticks 30, just nice, luckily, and I'm done with this. So I'll just go ahead and like, for example, I'll just dump it in my tab. Later on, I'll find like the right price for it as well. But what is the reason for that? Some of you are asking, what is the reason for doing all these strategies? And in order to understand, you need to go onto the trade website and think yourself as a buyer. So if I'm coming here and I'm looking, for example, for a ring right now for my account. So for example, looking for cold resistance ring, I want a 40 resistance. I want, for example, looking for a sapphire ring over here. A very nice sapphire ring with 40 cold resistance. Generally, people are quite, they will use like numbers like 30, 35, like 30, 30, or even like 20. So people like round numbers. It makes a lot of sense. It's really nice. Especially when you have like onset together with one of them. I'll just do a quick simple search. You can be able to see like all the different ones that pop up. And especially if you have multi-line kind of stuff, you can see ours just pops out over here. I have life, I have coal, I have all these kind of stuff. No one really cares too much about this modifier. As long as you have a little bit of differences, it's really very good. And some people are like starting to ping me by accident, so I'm just going to hit and like force unlist because this is a very low price. But now you can see over here, if I have coal, I have fire, round numbers makes it a lot easier to search, because some people that get this ring probably are looking for specifically coal focus, and if they were to filter, for example, by like 30 or maybe like 40 without, if I didn't do the modifiers, they wouldn't be able to filter through, and these people are likely willing to pay a little bit more because they are searching for something with a specific high cold resistance to balance their kit. So I will probably list it for like 1 divine and see how it goes, and this is like a quick way of how I use these modifiers to actually change. Another thing that I want to share with you is what else can you use this modifier on. So it's not just for rings as well. I do it for a lot of stuff that I list for 1 divine. So for example, you can see over here, I have this one that's sitting around for fire. Fire is a lot cheaper, so I like to do it for that, especially if you have like a same ring. The main stat is fire, substat is fire. These sell really fast. So for example, I have this one over here. I just have this fire resistance. It started off with 34. Main stat is like 22. I just pumped it up 18. Once it gets to a nice round number of 40, it has rarity, it has fire resistance. I'm sure this will sell to someone soon, so I'll just leave it at that. I love fire because fire is like so cheap to go up. People are not buying this. So, and especially people are looking for that resistance line to balance their stats. This is very cheap. So 40 over here, I just pumped it up a bit more. to another plus 20, it became like 48%, fire resistance 36. So just one ring alone already gives you 80 plus fire resistance. At the same time, you get life, you get coal. I just listed for divine, really, really nice. Here's another example of one of them. I put like just some fire over here. Didn't really mean to like click it too much, but this is one of an example that I won't touch it at all because unless I'm pushing that coal up to 40, it's going to cost a lot. I probably don't want to do anything with it because it's going to be very expensive for not much worth. So I just leave this as it is. And I can show you, for example, let me just filter by quality. Other stuff that I do, again, another fire ring here that I pushed up because this one also has fire damage. So I get 3 lines that I'm pushing up with the quality increase. Some stuff like breaches. Okay, I didn't modify that, but this one over here, 50% fire resistance plus 60. Some of these that I use to modify. And of course, amulets, I also do it at the same time. You get elemental resistance. It also overlays. So elemental, it is coal, fire, and lightning. So I really like elemental resistance with like one line of like fire resistance, for example, because both of the lines get modified. Really fantastic. Stuff like this, the coal one that you see, we pushed it up just so that it passes the 41. I think I got an extra 1 tick or 2 ticks or something like that just to pass the number. And you have very nice like 30, 40, 30 fire resistance, 40 cold resistance, main stat 30. So people like these kind of like round numbers. Makes it a lot easier to search. And your objective is trying to like cater to the buyers. You increase the pool of buyers that you have. You make them feel good about the item because it seems to be a much larger stat. No one really like counts backwards the number, the plus 12, especially since to them it's like you already spend the money helping increase the quality. So a few people actually do the like a huge math of like pressing out and checking what's the true stats and stuff. So that is one huge benefit that I have. Tip that I have for you. So stuff like this one is like kind of like no point. I just put in the fire. I think when I corrupted it, it removed like the fire resistance or something like that. But this is something that I probably wouldn't level up because it has cold resistance, lightning resistance. The fire is really only for the fire damage and fire resistance. So this is an example of a bad example when you don't want to use the fire modifiers. And you can see I have like tons of fire stuff just hanging around, just waiting to sell because these are very specialist gear, which a lot of people have already picked up. That I just sell for like 1 divine very quickly. Another one that I really like, for example, is this one over here, elemental resistances. When it got corrupted, it removed the coal res, but you have 3 lines of elemental resistances, and the coal modifier will modify the main stat, elemental resistance. It will modify the substats, but it doesn't modify the first line over here, the implicit that is made from corruption. That is a huge disclaimer to make. So that is basically how I use this for improving stuff. You can do this for attributes as well. For example, if you have certain things for like this one over here, which you want to pump up the attributes a bit more, this is exactly what I'm doing. I just use the modifiers, attribute modifiers here to push up the all attributes so you can give more stats to maybe someone who might need it. You can also use it for your own case where I increase, for example, defense. I want a bit more evasion. I want a bit more energy shield over here because I don't really need too much of resistances. Lightning is also a bit more expensive and I'm really like capped off of all my resistances. So I choose to get more energy shield and a bit more evasion from my necklace, my amulet as well. And if you found this video helpful, insightful, you can do the trick as well so that you can sell your gear faster and you can utilize this to actually make quite a lot of money rather than just going to Alva, currency exchange and selling all the stuff. If you find this video helpful, like, comment and subscribe and check out the other videos on our channel as well. See you guys in the next video.